I feel very good, but cash flow and cash reserves will save you.
And reserves. I was just, like I mentioned to you guys, I was just having lunch with my lender, my bridge lender, and we were talking about that. There's a property, a little duplex I bought 4 years ago, and I was sharing. My sales guys were with me, and my lender was it's a bunch of us, and I'm saying, man, and I'm asking him, hey, what's happening in the market? What are you seeing? How are you guys underwriting? They're like, we're not concerned. They're already seeing the capital market stabilize, the interest rate stabilize for DSCR loans. And he's like, well, I think we're going to stay around 8.5 for the rest of the year. We're going to see the Fed's already clearly said they're going to slow down on the increases, the major increases. They're going to start bringing it down a notch to a quarter. But I was sitting there with my guys, and I'm saying, hey, listen, I bought this. There was this one little property, because I was doing exactly what you just said yesterday, Alex. Exactly what you just said, tightening the belt, looking at my numbers. Like, you got to know your numbers if you're in business. And so I got on a call with my property manager, and I was like, hey, I forget. I got, you got so many properties. You guys know, you forget who's paying you for what. And so I had to call her, and I was like, hey, what are we getting for this one? What are we getting for this one? And I'm tightening up my Excel sheet. And it was yesterday I realized, I was like, shit, when I bought that little duplex, I couldn't get more than $750 a month for, like, that was pushing it. I had to remodel it, make it nice, right? And today, 3.5 years later or so, I'm getting $1,100 for the same duplex. Yeah, did people get a 30% increase in 4 years in their income? I don't think so. So this is the beauty of real estate, right? Buying and watching numbers and making sure that you're running a tight ship and keeping up with what's happening in the market. Yet my debt structure hasn't changed on that, right? My cost of my debt, my taxes haven't gone up much. Actually, my insurance went down. I went and renegotiated. My assistant goes and checks my insurance every year, and we shop them every year to make sure we get the best rates. And it's like we're doing pretty good, and that's what I love about real estate, right? Is that ability to just continue to create wealth over time, man. That's what excites me about this thing. It's the long game, playing in the long game. And regardless of what's happening today, what I know, the great book says, somewhere in the great book says, this too shall pass, right? So whatever we're going through, this too shall pass, man. Like I said, 2008, when I was 100,000 underwater, and I was stressed because I didn't have the money muscle. I didn't understand business. I didn't really understand money the way I do today. I didn't understand real estate. And had I had that long vision really understanding real estate, understanding business, I would have just been like, who cares? I'm cash flowing. Who cares? That's just a number on a spreadsheet, right?
Well, one
And
thing
one of the things I love about real estate.
So sorry.
No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I was done.
One thing that helps me really to deal with these crashes, because it's exciting times, and every single person is talking about it, and they're predicting, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. But what happens with these conversations, and I'm talking to the listeners, right? They're like, we want to know what's going to happen so we can make moves. But the reality is, every period has some volatility, right? In 2017, a lot of people were like, now it's going to crash now, right? Don't buy now. And then I made all my money since then. So there's always going to be these conflicting opinions about what's going to happen, right? I'm always going to be like the sky is falling. It's just my personality. And other people are going to be like, I'm always buying because I don't care. And it'll sort of work out in the long run. But what I really want to emphasize is, instead of worrying about what's going to happen the next crash, right? Think about, you're going to go through 7 or 8 more crashes in your life. This next one is just one of many. And so the idea is, how do you create a system of investing, a mindset, and like a life philosophy to do both of them together? How do I live and invest in a way that deals with all crashes, no matter how they look? Because as much as David likes to bust my chops earlier about like, this time is different at the surface, but every crash has universal themes. Actually, the things that crash markets are almost exclusively debt and inflation, by the way. Those are the risks. And so instead of, it is really, really important and wise to think about this market and this upcoming year and how to adapt, but also how can you take those lessons that you learn and say, how can I apply this to forever? Because I don't want to have to worry about this every time and have the anxiety every 8 to 10 years about what am I going to do this crash? What's it going to be? It's like, doesn't matter. I buy for cash flow day one. I have ample reserves. When the rents go up, I take the bigger increases. I stockpile away cash. I buy good deals, right? I dollar cost average deals. Sometimes I buy in 2022. Sometimes I buy in 2014, right? And so I think that sort of mentality, now that's probably not going to make me a billionaire, but I think the majority of people aren't out to be billionaires. They're out to create a reasonable amount of wealth, and everybody can create a reasonable amount of wealth if you have a reasonably well thought out philosophy that is time tested.
Yeah, it goes to, like Dave mentioned earlier in my intro, and when I'm coaching people, I'm a certified hypnotherapist. It's about the focus, right? It's about you focusing and having clarity on what you want. Once you know what you want, once you know where you're going, you can get there, right? And once you commit to knowing, hey, this is where I want, this is what I want, and it doesn't matter to me how long it takes me. I'll share this with you guys, right? When I first decided to reach financial freedom, it's a decision I make, right? You first decide, then you commit to it, and then you take massive action. But once you decide and commit and the massive action, but you really commit, like I'm committed. I don't care how long it takes. I'm committed. I'm doing it. I created this board in my office, and my number was $7,500. That's what I needed. That's what my family needed to get to financial freedom. And I wrote $7,500, and I just started Craigslist ads, wholesalers, meetups. I did everything guys like you would tell me to do. So I would listen to your podcast, right? And you'd say, you got to attend meetups. You got to call 5 real estate people. I just do it. Just take action. I would just take action, take action, take action. And I had this number 7,500 and bought a duplex, and I bought another one, and that one net me 400. That one net me 500. That one net me 300. And I just chip away. And I didn't care how long it took me. I didn't care. I was focused on what I wanted. I share that with your listeners because that's what we should be doing through any market. Is what you first need to know. What is it that you want? Because you see, my goals and my strategies, your goals and your strategies, Alex and Dave's goals and Dave's strategies, we're all going to have different strategies, different goals, different things that we need to get to, that we want to accomplish, different ways. Maybe that's 7,500. You look at that and you say, that's a joke, man. I can't live on that. I can't even make my car payments with that, right? But that's what I needed, right? And people need to focus exactly on what it is that they want. And regardless of what's happening in the market, that's none of my business, is usually the way I say. Here's my goals. Here's my buying criteria. This is what I buy in. This is the box. And let the world know this is your buy-in, and let the world know this is what you're looking for. And all of a sudden, you'll be surprised. You start letting people know this is what you're looking for. Is you're activating your RAS, your reticular activating system, right? In your brain, that thing that starts to show up and shows you opportunities when you start seeking. The great book also says, if you seek, you shall find. Same thing. You just start seeking, you start focusing. All of a sudden, these things just start showing up. So regardless of the market, my thing is, what's your goal? What's your outcome? What's the outcome you're looking for? And forget about what the external factors are doing. What is it that you want to do? What is it that I want to do? What's my constraints? What's my buy box? And let me just focus on that. Is it going to take more calls? Yes. Is it going to take me seeing more properties? Yes. Is it? Some people may say I'm crazy. I said 1.4 or 1.4 DSCR. Yeah, you guys were like, whoa, yeah, that's conservative, right? I'm finding them because I've activated my RAS, right? And I'm very specific, and I'm letting the world know, and I'm constantly out there. We bought a property last year, gents. I don't say this to impress you, but to impress upon you the power of this stuff. We bought a property at close. We bought it for $3 million, and when it appraised as it was 4.5. The seller had no idea, but because, great buy for us, outstanding buy for us. The seller had no idea because he just didn't know how to run the numbers, and they had debt free. I got to say, we got lucky, and in a way, we got lucky, and we were also focused on that. So we found it. We found it because we were looking for it.